In this video, we're going to continue to look at how to write a personal narrative. Now, the goals for the video today will be that we're going to generate and organize ideas. We're going to look at gathering specific details and also how to plan a clear beginning, middle, and end. Now, what I want you to do is turn your practice companion books to pages 4 and 5. And what I want you to do is read over the personal narrative model, again, titled Meeting Karam. Now, as you're reading over this, what I want you to do is think about these questions, and when you find the answers to these questions, I want you to write them in your writing journal. Okay, so we have what happens at the beginning of the story, what events occur during the middle, and what events occur at the end. So pause the video, read through pages 4 and 5, and then I'll have the answers to these questions. So pause the video now. So we can see the answers here, and what I have here, the very first one, this is what happens at the beginning of the story. The second one here is what happens at the middle, what events occur during the middle, and also the final one, the events that occur at the end of the story. Okay, now it's important to take a look at that and make sure that you understand some of the events that happen at the beginning of a personal narrative to kind of help you as you think about some things that you're going to include in your own personal narrative. Okay, now we're going to move to generating ideas and gathering specific details. Now it's important to understand that a good personal narrative includes details about what happened and how the writer felt about it. So you want to include some of these ideas in your writing journal as you're taking notes. Okay, now specific details help readers understand and visualize the writer's experience. Now it's important to know that even though that you may have been a part of this personal narrative, that the reader is not. So the reader needs to be able to visualize it through specific, really good details. Okay, now as you're thinking about some details to gather, some things that are going to help you, okay, is asking yourself who, what, where, when, and why to your personal narrative. Now, an example, talking about my personal narrative about Naomi, I want to think about who is Naomi, what was different about Naomi, when did I meet Naomi, where did I meet Naomi, and also why did Naomi and I become best friends. So in your writing journal, what I want you to do is answer these questions: who, what, when, where, and why according to your personal narrative. Who is in the story? What is happening in the story? When did it happen? Where did it happen? What are some of the whys behind the story? Okay, so pause the video and do that, and then you can move on. Now that you have answered the who, what, when, where, and why according to your personal narrative, we're going to start thinking about organizing your ideas. Now, it's always important, the pre-writing process is extremely, extremely important whenever you're writing any type of piece. Okay, it's kind of like huddling up before a football play. You have a plan in mind. You're not just running around crazy or not just writing random ideas. Okay, so before writing a personal narrative, we have to organize our ideas. Now remember, with a personal narrative, your story needs to have a beginning, a middle, and also an end. Okay, now let me show you an example, some of the things that will happen in the beginning. For example, we can see that, if I'm thinking about this, I know I am writing about my best friend Naomi and how we met. So first I need to write a beginning for my story, and what I'll do with that, as you can see, I will introduce Naomi and explain how we met. Okay, now you can see that in the beginning part. The middle of my story, what I'm going to do is include how we became friends and some of the things that we like to do together, the real meat of the story within the middle. And then finally, the end of my story will include how I feel about Naomi and our friendship. So you can see some of the beginning, middle, and end things that will happen in there. Okay, so it's important to kind of introduce what's going on in the beginning, really focus in on the main part will be the middle, and then the end is kind of wrapping everything together. wrapping everything up, I should say. So as you come to writing today, this is what's going to be required of you. You're going to need to organize your personal narrative just like I have right here, beginning, middle, and end. So you want to get your writing journal ready to be able to include a beginning, middle, and end. And then it's going to be important to include details from the beginning, middle, and end also of your story. So this concludes our video, and remember, if you have any questions, please write them down in your writing journal and bring them to class, and we'll go over those questions you have.